Merry habitable man.
We believe that all men are created
equal
to the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe it.
Help is on the way.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
The attack came before sunrise early Sunday at an American base in northeast Jordan. CBS News has learned those injured and killed were in sleeping quarters when the armed drone struck. The outpost, known as Tower 22, supports U.S. Special Forces operating inside Syria, where they're under constant threat of attack. President Biden, campaigning in South Carolina on Sunday, blamed Iranian-backed militias and vowed to retaliate.
We lost 3 brave souls in an attack on one of our bases, and we shall respond.
Samantha Vinograd is a former counterterrorism official in the Biden administration.
It is critical that the administration respond quickly and responsibly, but that means thinking about how their actions will be interpreted and carefully reviewing targets so that Iran doesn't overreact and seek to harm more Americans.
American forces have been operating in Syria and Jordan as part of an ongoing mission to root out ISIS. Thousands of troops have been stationed across Iraq ever since the end of the war there. Since the Hamas invasion of Israel in October, U.S. military sites in Iraq and Syria have been attacked more than 160 times. Sunday's deadly attack sparked bipartisan condemnation and swift Republican calls to directly attack Iran now.
Rushing to action in a moment like this would be extremely dangerous.
Do not attack Iran now. Hello, everybody. Hello. Happy Monday. We opened Monday with a contemplation about attacking Iran again. And of course, all the Republicans piled on. Yes, let's attack Iran now. Let's do it. Lindsey Graham, get him. Go attack Iran. Mitch McConnell. Yes, I think we ought to, take action. Could we listen? It's a very dangerous neighborhood, as you freaking know. Okay, and so we're finding out that we had this outpost, this Special Forces outpost in a place called Tower 22. As an American, as a New Yorker, I would please ask kindly, nicely, respectfully, don't name anything Tower. Doesn't really play well in the Islamic world. They like to slam things into towers. You get my drift, right? Okay, good. So there's a place, a base. It's on the Jordanian, Iranian, Iraqi border called Tower 22. Syria. Tower 22, Special Forces, okay? This really does remind me of Beirut, Lebanon, because they were sleeping when they were attacked in the middle of the night by a proxy of Iran drone. A proxy of Iran drone. So we know here that it's the H's, right? It's the H's, right? For Lebanon, it's Hezbollah. That's an Iranian proxy. For Gaza, it's Hamas. That's an Iranian proxy. And for Yemen, it's the Houthis. That's an Iranian proxy. And now we have one that begins with the next letter in the alphabet, I, the Islamic resistance group in Iraq. They are claiming responsibility for this. They are an Iranian proxy. So I'm hoping that in retaliation, because we did actually see 34 wounded and 3 dead soldiers. Yes, it happened. They hit something. Because they want to widen this war. Iran does. But, they want to have their cake and eat it too. Happy birthday to me. It was delish. But they do. What they're doing is they're saying, these Iranian proxies, Hamas and the Houthis and Hezbollah and all, even though we support them monetarily, even though we give them weapons training, even though we give them weapons, we don't tell them what to do. So therefore, we can say, we're out. We didn't do it. We didn't do it. They don't take orders from us. They take everything else from us, but not orders from us. So they can have it both ways, right? They can actually try very hard. And, they've taken like more than 100 shots at commercial shipping in the Red Sea and in the Gulf of Aden, all at an attempt to, get the United States ridiculously angry and ready to retaliate and widen this war. And the Republicans are walking right into it again. And Biden's like, okay, we'll respond at a time and place of our choosing, which always sounds ominous to me. It always sounds like really cool and dangerous. And in that weird way, good. It's like we're reserving the right. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of those. At a time and a place of our choosing, meaning surprise. Can we just agree that the best way to do this would be to hit, I don't know, some munitions dump in Yemen or some weird far-flung place that nobody cares about? Oh, and don't give me this crap you care about Yemen. You don't care about Yemen. Nobody cares about Yemen, okay? Not even, Osama bin Laden, who was from Yemen, and I bet you didn't even know that. Cared about Yemen. Nobody cares about Yemen. But honestly, so, this is what I woke up to. This is, on my birthday, no less. On my birthday. Hey, we need to attack Iran. Oh, no! No! But if you're going to have somebody in charge of what to do about it, I would suggest stick with Joe Biden, okay? Because obviously the Republicans really, really want to go to war in the Middle East. Again, they always do. They always will. And they are still wanting for that war. They still want to have it. They still want to do it. They still want to bomb Iran. Now, just so you know, there is no way that we will bomb anything, shoot anything, take out anybody in Iran. Only Trump did that, right? And I guess they're still upset, the Iranians are, that he took out their chief guy, the Soleimani dude, right? And everybody loves to forget about that. But that's kind of what they're pissed about. And people who want to support Hamas, they're going to say, oh no, it's about Hamas. Please give me a break. The Iranians have wanted to, by proxy, by hook, by crook, engage the United States in sort of an Afghanistan 9-year protracted piece of dung, war in the Middle East, and we did that for them. We actually, Iran and Iraq used to fight each other. You know that, right? Do you remember that at all? Pre-George W. Do you? I hope you do. I hope you remember that there was this long-ass war between Iraq and Iran. They went at it, boy. And the United States was very happy with it. When your enemies are destroying each other, do nothing. And then all of a sudden, George Bush became president, and the Iran-Iraq thing was, and we said, okay, we're going to choose this side, and we're going to go after Iraq as if they attacked us on 9/11. I mean, what? So, that's the Republican position. So in this particular scenario, I'll be very happy that we don't have fire and fury president, that we don't have the guy that's going to go take out Soleimani, that we don't have a guy who will widen this war by bombing anything or taking out anyone in Iran. No, that will not happen. Joe Biden is not stupid. Joe Biden is, for years, he sat on he was the chairman of the Senate Foreign Policy, Foreign Relations Committee. Okay, I think they get this. I think they understand this. I think they know this. I don't think they need me to tell it to them, and I don't think they need you to worry about it. But obviously, the Republicans have already tweeted. Go look at their tweets. Go look at Lindsey Graham. Just go look it up. Go look at what Mitch McConnell had to say. They're like, go ahead, do it. Take out Iran. Do it. Iran is in no position to beat us. Well, neither was Afghanistan, okay? Cut the crap, man. Just cut the crap. And, our Joint Chiefs, Charles Q. Brown, he's like, okay, so this is weird. Martha Raddatz interviewed the Joint Chiefs before this happened, like 2 weeks ago. And I don't know why they sat on it until we were attacked, and then they released it. So he's talking before this happened, but they're airing it after this happened. I find that disturbing. You? Okay, you probably don't care. However, when she asked him, what do you say to people that want to go to war with Iran? What do you say to them? He goes, do they really want to widen this war? Because I'm telling you, I don't. And I know for a fact Iran doesn't. So why would you, want to do that when nobody wants to do that?
All things Randi at RandiRhodes.com.
Go for launch.
Speaking truth to power, the Randi Rhodes Show.
The response thus far to the more than 160 Iranian proxy attacks on Americans in Iraq and Syria have been limited, largely striking storage facilities. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs telling me just days before this deadly attack, the U.S. is approaching retaliation with caution.
What would you say to those people who are your critics who would say, look, they're not being tough enough on these militants. They're not being tough enough on Iran?
I would also ask, do they want a broader conflict? Do you want us in a full-scale war? We don't want to go down a path of greater escalation that drives to a much broader conflict within the region.
But with 3 Americans now dead, there is already growing pressure to strike and strike hard. The Pentagon has long had options for striking Iran itself, but this morning, Iran denying they had a role in the attack, a spokesman calling the accusations baseless, claiming the militant groups do not take orders from Iran and Iran does not want a war. But in addition to the attacks in Jordan, Iranian-backed Houthis have launched dozens of strikes on commercial vessels in and around the Red Sea, including this ship hit on Friday, causing a massive fire and emergency evacuation of the crew.
Can't we just hit a storage facility like like you store it, or what is the name of those places? You pay like $15 a month, and can't we just hit that? Can't we just say that and then say we're done? No, they want full scale war. I just wow. Just stunned, really, really, sickened by all of this. Really, just freaked out by it. Gary in Fort Lauderdale.
Hey, Randy. I would say the answer to that question is no, because then you'd be killing civilians as opposed to soldiers. So they'd probably have to strike a military target. But here's a question I had for you. Do you think this is too far-fetched of an idea? In other words, if Trump was the president right now,
oh God,
and he had to make this decision, do you think he would call Putin and say, what should I do?
Of course.
I do too.
Of course. Yes, he would take, the Chinese-Russian position on anything at all, But remember this, Gary, this is really creepy. What the documents case that, is supposed to happen in Florida and, Eileen Cannon.
Yeah, Cannon's not letting it go.
Right. So remember what one of the documents was? It was
a strike plan on Iran.
Mm-hmm. You're so
correct?
Smart. Yes.
Yeah, but I guess everybody in Palm Beach County knows it. Do you know about it? You're in Palm Beach.
Yes.
I guess you weren't there that day.
I was there.
You were getting your nails done that day.
I was getting my nails done and shooting up my dog with insulin is what I was doing.
Yeah. Well, all right.
Thank you for the invite. Gary
You're
invited
welcome.
me over to his house yesterday to watch football. What did you think of the game?
It was great.
Yeah,
except those poor people in Detroit that went to the stadium and watched it, and then they see their team fall because the coach made a bad decision.
I mean, it's the Detroit Lions. I mean, they will never win, will they ever?
They were pretty close the first half. I think you missed the first half.
I did.
They tore it up.
It was a comeback, right, from behind, like 17 points or some crazy.
You know what it is, Randy? I watch a lot of football. It's nothing to be proud of.
Brett too.
But here's what it is: the best coaches know how to make what's called halftime adjustments.
Yeah.
And Detroit didn't, and Kansas City did.
Yeah.
Well, to Gary's point as well, that Coach Kyle Shanahan that made those adjustments, he was the offensive coordinator, I believe, for one of the Atlanta teams that made also one of the greatest comebacks in Super Bowl history. But Shanahan is the man.
Yeah, he's got it in his blood. His father was a coach.
I'll just be over here.
His father was a great coach, 2-time Super Bowl champion.
All right, then. Enjoy. I think the Super Bowl will be very boring.
I think it'll be really good.
I think
number 15 is the new number 12.
Honestly, I just it's a rematch. This is the same thing over and 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 over.
But I bet you'll watch.
I will. I'll watch. But I'll be in the kitchen. I'll make a dip. I'll be serving. I'll be making the little snacky things. That's what I do during the games. You know that I cook. That's what I do. And then I can claim that I watched the football.
Let's just root against Kansas City, because rooting against Kansas City is rooting against Taylor Swift.
Right.
I don't want any more.
Why would you want to root against Taylor Swift?
I don't want any more fake Swift celebrations. I want a
Those
Swift
are not fake.
sad face. I want to see her pouting because her boyfriend's losing.
What are you
Oh, yeah.
saying?
Oh,
You're
yeah.
insane.
Oh, yeah.
Why? Why do you dislike her?
I just
sounds like it's bordering on hatred. What is the deal with you and Taylor Swift?
No, it's not her specifically. It's the whole Kelsey Swift. I'm just tired of the whole deal.
Mahomes and Kelsey are like the best combo since, I don't know, what was it? Brady and what's his face?
Gronkowski. And that's
right.
a good comparison. I'm over it. I'm over Travis. I'm over his brother.
How could you be
Jason.
over
I'm
Travis?
Over the podcast. I'm
He's
over the
so
kids, the
freaking
wife.
cute, and his brother's
I'm
even
over the
cuter. I don't even
commercials.
understand it. And why do you not like Taylor Swift?
I've had enough.
Oh my God! Then you need to listen to her entire breadth and depth of music.
I'll do no such
so
thing,
that
Randy.
you can start to
I'll do
appreciate
no such thing.
the Era's movie, the Era's tour, the Era's costume design, the coats. You know, the jacket that she wears. You know, the little puffer is designed by another football player's wife, and she's actually sewing it herself. I mean, she reminds me of the union lady that our nation's sewing. I always look for the union label. But those coats that she's making, I don't remember which player's wife it is that's making these puffer coats out of their husband's jerseys, which is a very elite thing to, have access to. So here's the thing, right? You say, I want a puffer jacket. Okay, I can make you one, but here's what you have to do. You have to supply me with your husband's NFL jersey, and then I can create and craft something just for you. I'm like, that leaves me out of any design that she would ever have because I don't have A, a husband, B, he ain't an NFL player if I had one, and C, no, I don't want his smelly, stinking jersey turned into some freaking outerwear thing. I'm not into it at all. But anyway, she's making these, and that's what Taylor's wearing. The Kansas City puffer coat is made from the cloth.
Well, that's just fine.
No, I really don't understand what you have against her. Honestly, I don't.
It's the whole pairing being jammed down our throats. It's so staged. It's so promotional.
It isn't. They're in love. Can't you tell? Can you tell the difference?
No.
You can't?
Between her on tour and him at practice,
Get outta
traveling
here.
for games, when did this amazing romance butt up anyway?
Don't you have FaceTime?
Nah.
It's real, okay? This is not contrived. It's not made up, and I'm happy for her. And if you're worried about Travis ever getting his comeuppance, she breaks up with everybody, Brett, and then she writes an entire album
That's
about
just
it.
material. That's what it is.
So, yes, but so is Adele, and I love her too. So why
I
would
like Adele.
Okay, well, she's a breakup queen too.
I like Adele. I'm not a big Taylor fan.
So, if Adele went to, I don't know, a Bears game, would you trash her?
I feel like she's a total Bears fan at heart. If she's not actually, I'm going to believe she actually is.
You're making crap up because you're like, you need to be in the I Hate Taylor crowd. I guess that's
Is
your...
there? Where do they meet?
Huh? I like her. I like the whole thing. I find it, delicious. I like it.
Connect. To speak to Randy, call 561-270-3844. 561-270-3844.
Ooh, Brett's getting his behind kicked. Yes. The Randi Rhodes audience is obviously Team Taylor. Obviously.
And they're jumping to some very extreme conclusions right now.
What else could, I mean,
I'm being called a misogynist, for one.
No, Brett's not a misogynist. He's just not into Taylor Swift's, wheelhouse. He's not into, like Our Song, which is very, country. And then the pop era, is not, but, I am. And I don't see why you have to trash her.
I don't have to.
Don't come at me with that smiling little punum. Look at that face.
I don't have to.
How
trash
could you
her.
be nasty to that face? I couldn't possibly. Look at that pun. Look at you just want to grab the cheek and such a good face.
Is that we're doing the show? Isn't there an Iranian attack or did Biden say?
You know what? I don't want to go to war with Iran, and I don't think anybody in this audience thinks we are going to go. If they are, then you can call me up. We can hash. We can hash through it. But Tom in L.A.
Hey, Randy.
Hey.
This is GL Pages. Tom, how you doing?
Oh, hi, Yellow Pages, Tom.
I know, right? GayandLesbianPages.com.
Right.
Anyway, what I do want to say is that Brett is totally lost on this one.
Right.
Here you have a young woman. Also, Brett, you should go see the video on YouTube called "The Man," because Taylor Swift actually puts it exactly the way that it is. Also, I don't know if Brett realizes this, but she got, from one little post on her website, 35,000 people registered to vote.
Yeah, and that's another thing.
Are voting Democratic.
That's right, and that's another part of her, of her personality that I enjoy. Is she's an activist, and she comes from a very Christian family, and her family was begging her years ago not to say anything about her disgust for Donald Trump and that it would hurt her career. And she actually almost she did cry, and she said, "I can't take it anymore. The guy
I can't stand by and take this anymore." Exactly.
Right. And I'm a Christian, and I cannot watch this. I can't allow him to do these things and to say these things and to treat women the way he does. And here we are on the eve of an $83 million verdict, right, where E. Jean Carroll had to sue him again. And, everybody was correct about, why don't you just shut up already about trashing women? Just shut up, because every time you do it, she's going to bring another lawsuit.
And Randy, Travis Kelce is in favor of vaccines, as we can see from his commercial.
Right.
But here's what I would say. It's not Taylor's fault that she's at the game, watching the game and enjoying the game, and the media keeps throwing her picture up on the screen.
True that. And she's sitting next to his mother.
Boyfriend play?
Right.
Can't a girl go and watch her boyfriend play a
I will
football
say
game?
this.
I
will say this. I do feel bad for Mahomes' wife.
The media should be showing her more if they want to.
I agree. I feel really bad
for
her.
Simone Biles and the Green Bay Packers safety.
Right. And she has one of those puffer coats too.
Exactly.
Yes.
So the thing is, I'm just saying that what's going to be really interesting is this coming Sunday when they have the Grammys and Taylor Swift sweeps the Grammys,
yeah,
if she will, with this new album.
Yeah.
It is the most incredible. After Midnight is the most incredible album, I think. I mean, I listen to it every night, and I can't even believe it because I've never done that before with an album for as long as I have with this album because it's so good.
Wow. I had no idea, Tom.
If you haven't heard it, Randy.
No.
Karma. Can I ask you a question? You name it. It's all the things. The one for transgender rights and for LGBTQ rights. Where she has in her video, she has these people that are right wingers that can't even spell the signs right about Adam and Eve. I mean, it is probably so great. And at the end, she shows that her and Katy Perry actually, they had a feud, actually can get along, and they come together and hug. I mean, it's just a really, really, it's a good thing, and it's what we need in this world. A little bit more of is love, and not this.
See, Brett, you're the impediment. You're the impediment to shared experience.
I mean, be happy for these two kids that they.
I am happy for them.
Found each other, and Greg, you know what? I get it in terms of the media's overblowing of this whole thing.
Yeah.
But you know what? The girl's just too bad she just fell for a guy that plays football. I guess that's part of the problem, and. You know what? They are a damn powerful couple, and I hope that they get progressives and people out to vote.
Hey, man, I want them involved.
And get rid of Marsha Blackburn.
Really, I love the fact that she's registering people to vote. I love the fact that she sees, that there is a role for her to play in this moment in her life because she's not stupid. She knows these moments come and go, okay? And she's got her moment now. Okay, and she is going to use it for not just bringing joy to everybody and not just, being $1 billion. And, when she goes into your town, the GDP of your town goes up exponentially. Yeah. I mean, she brings prosperity to every place that she goes to put on a show.
Economies all way. And I'll tell you what, when we went and saw it at the movie theater, and when you see all these young kids
Yeah.
boys and girls,
Yeah.
jumping up and down, listening to her concert.
Yeah.
What could potentially be wrong with that?
Nothing.
And like I said, I wish they would have a little bit more like underneath the chyron when they show Travis making a touchdown or whatever. Taylor Swift, winner of this many Grammys.
You're really
so you're
a
not
fan.
Just making her
You're a fanboy, Tom. You're a big fanboy.
Oh, I have become a fan. I was not a fan of hers in the past, but this last album and the one that she did with Bon Iver, I have definitely become a fan.
You know what, Tom? You've convinced me. I salute the team of publicists and agents that brought these two crazy kids together.
Stop it.
And I'm now on board.
Okay, look, she's no Kansas, okay?
Here's the thing. She doesn't need a publicist for this.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't.
She doesn't need Travis Kelce. If anything, Travis Kelce is getting more people.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. That's
because of her.
That's the truth, and I don't know why people are hating on her. I really don't get it.
Please, people, go check out The Man. Go
All right.
check out
All right.
some of those videos
I will.
I'm telling you
Hey,
about.
man, I wish
Thank
I could
you.
play music. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for turning me on to it. If I could play music, I would show you, but I can't. I can't.
I don't hate the girl. It's that they crowbarred her into my Sundays.
So he's right. She doesn't need any of this. In fact, this blowback that she's getting from nice people, Brett, like you, is something she doesn't need or want or is. She's having the most incredible time of her life right now. Most incredible time of her life. She doesn't need to be dating Travis Kelce. This isn't created. This is real. Wrap your brain around love and that it could actually happen between a Taylor Swift and a Travis Kelce, because it has. It has happened. And I don't know why it's, not a good thing for you. I don't know why it doesn't work for you.
This is the Randi Rhodes Show. To speak with Randi, dial 561-270-3844. That's 561-270-3844.
All right, 47 after. Rhonda in California.
Hi, Randi.
Hi.
First, I've been listening to you since Air America, and I love you, and I watch you every day.
Oh.
But I support Brett. I just think it's overexposure.
But she's
just
not.
like Stairway
she's not,
to Heaven was played too much.
No, Freebird was played too much. Stairway to Heaven you could play all day, every day, back to back. I'd be fine with it. But she's not doing it though.
Oh no, it's not her fault.
Right.
No.
Thank you. So Brett was
And
just about
the Scorpions are my band.
The Scorpions. Oh, here I am.
Yeah, I'm 68.
Rock you like a hurricane.
I'm an old lady.
Hey,
Anyway, that's all I want to say. I'm too nervous.
Oh, okay. Calm down. Go have something to eat.
All right. Take care.
Okay, Rhonda. Thank you. So she knows it's not Taylor's fault. Why don't you, Brett? Why don't you know that?
Okay, I'll go with her exposure theory. I'll go with that. I'm good with that.
But she's not exposing
She's overexposed.
She isn't. She's going to a football game where her boyfriend happens to be a receiver for one of the best quarterbacks in the history of the NFL. That is not her fault. That they
Tom,
keep shoving a camera in her freaking face. Okay?
I like what Tom told me. Tom broke it down for me. I didn't know a lot of that stuff. Maybe give me a little time to marinate. Maybe I'll come around, but you can't just.
She does have a conscience, and she is extremely, disappointed in the direction that this country has been moving in over the last 7 freaking years. And she is a Christian girl with those values, and she feels like something really ugly has happened to that particular lane. Like somebody's taken a squat in the middle of that road and just pooped in it, and she doesn't like it, and she actually is saying that out loud. I mean, the idea that she can move the needle on registration for voters. Katy Perry had that power too and used it well. A lot of people do, but she's not going to the game to get exposure. The girl, wherever, listen, she sold so many tickets. She sold too many tickets. This isn't like somebody who needs publicity to sell out her concerts, or like a Donald Trump, is fleecing people to pay his legal bills, or some nefarious, ugly little backstory here. She actually, her fans bought tickets so fast and so furiously, and in such numbers, that she actually had to take on Ticketmaster because they were treating her fans poorly. They were treating her fans badly. Do you know what I'm saying? She doesn't need this exposure, as it's called. She doesn't need publicity at all. And neither does he. He's going to the Super Bowl. And it had nothing to do with her. It has to do with his own, athletic prowess. Argue with that.
I got no argument. All I know is I was neutral on both of them until this whole thing began. So do that.
So I see that, and I see that.
What you will.
But okay, what I will is I will show you that the negative portion of the fallout from this relationship is something she doesn't deserve. It's something she doesn't need or want. So it must be real. Look, he is playing. He was just playing in a conference playoff game. Like, the most important moments of his life just occurred on Sunday and the 15 weeks prior, okay? And now he's going to the freaking Super Bowl, and there's no way that he would taint it or hurt it or harm it or put it in jeopardy for publicity for himself or for her. It just makes no sense. Why are you laughing? Why would that make sense to you? In what world does that make sense?
I think Travis Kelce would do absolutely anything for publicity.
Why? He's that good.
Commercials, the shows.
Because he's that good. And how long is a football career, Brett? How long is it?
His is much longer. It's 2.5 years. His is remarkable. And he's an amazing player. Do not get me wrong. And he played great
everybody's
this weekend.
getting you wrong. I mean,
he played great this weekend.
He's phenomenal. Okay, I didn't like his Beastie Boys reference. Not down with that song. I just, But did you see what he, after the game he said? You got to fight for your right to party. I was like, really? Really?
I wasn't really hyped up on the Chiefs win. It is what it is. Little rematch. It's fine. It's whatever.
I'm just saying that he would not sacrifice or put in jeopardy his opportunity, which is very short-lived in the NFL, and his ability to go to the Super Bowl and to take his team to the Super Bowl with Mahomes and to connect that way, the way that they did, this amazing, it's almost like a choreography that we watched. It was almost like a dance, okay, between those two. I don't think that they would jeopardize any of that for anybody, even if it was Taylor Swift. And Taylor Swift certainly doesn't need any of this. So all the haters, I think they just need a place to put their, grievance. Because nobody's doing anything to you or taking anything away from you because they fell in love and they're dating. I don't, but everything that, is on the line for each of them is on the line for each of them. With or without, they don't need this. They don't need this kind of hatred. Who would want that? Who would actually say, okay, I'm really famous. I have an Eras tour celebrating, my 23 years at my young age, okay, or whatever it is, 18 years or 17 years at my very young age of success and album after album after album after album. And, my tickets sell so fast that I have to take on the Ticketmasters of the world because they treat my fans badly. Okay, they tell them, oh, if you're online at this certain moment, you'll be taken first. And then they lie to them with bait and switch. And she literally, and she's also a person of faith, okay, like it or not. She is a person of, a deep religious conviction. And she's watching these phony balonies. She's watching these Trumpers. Steal that from her, too. She doesn't need this hate because she is going to football games to cheer for her boyfriend. And I don't even understand why people are angry at her or criticizing the camera people and the people that are producing the games on Sunday for sticking the camera in that box.
Well, I think it's less anger with me personally than it is just over it. I was never angry with her. And plus, she was great on SNL twice, which I enjoyed that. No, it's not anger. It's just I'm over the whole deal.
So look, I'm a Justin Timberlake fan in that special Taylor Swift fan way, okay? And he was on Saturday Night Live and, sang a new song. I think it's called Sanctified. It was unbelievable, unbelievable. But if somebody, if he started dating, Travis Kelce, people would hate him too. And for what reason, I don't know. But honestly, I don't get that. I don't get the sour reaction to Taylor Swift dating this guy. I don't understand it. I really don't. The idea that this is made up or manufactured, listen, it isn't. Neither one of them needs it. He's still saying yes, it is. You're infuriating. Jahari in Michigan.
Hey, Randy, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Wanted to talk to you about the Iran thing.
Okay.
But I got to say something for the Lions. Okay?
Okay.
The Lions are not the same old Lions that we're used to. They played at a level all season that showed the world that they belong in the top tier, among the top tier NFL teams. They're going to be back.
I feel your pain. I'm a Dolphins fan, okay? I'm a Dolphin fan, okay? I feel your pain. I really do. It's like we got so close to and then, not in the playoffs. Or,
right.
We are in the playoffs, but, then we lost. I felt bad for Detroit yesterday. I got to say, I feel really bad for Lions fans, but, just remember, I'm a Dolphin fan, so, I get it.
Now, to the point about the play calling, Campbell felt he's gone for it on fourth all season. As a matter of fact, him going for it on fourth during that Cowboys game cost him, but it was a good play. They were all good shots, but it is what it is. But also, I think the NFL is exploiting Taylor Swift. Just gonna say it.
Well, maybe they are, but she's not doing it for them, and she's not doing it for anybody.
Leave her the hell alone. But the real reason I wanted to talk to you was, do you think that all of this stuff with Iran would be happening had that diseased Trump, would this be happening if he hadn't pulled out of the Iran deal? I mean, I think that a lot of this goes back to him ripping up the Iran deal.
I don't know what's happening. We don't know what's happening, okay? We have no idea what's happening. All we know is Iran is being Iran. Again. That's it.
Mary had a little man.
We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Help is on the way.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show. Turn up your mind.
Donald Trump, when he was commander-in-chief, refused to visit a cemetery, U.S. cemetery outside of Paris for fallen American soldiers. And he referred to those heroes, and I quote, as suckers and losers. He actually said that. He said that. How dare he say that? The only loser I see is Donald Trump. Donald Trump knows this economy is good and strong and getting stronger. He knows that while it's good for America, it's bad for him politically. Trump also said, the one president he doesn't want to be is Herbert Hoover. Well, Donald, it's too late. There are only two presidents in American history who left office with fewer jobs than they took office. Herbert Hoover and, yes, Donald Herbert Hoover Trump. Given the nightmare when he was in office, you know what is likely to come. Trump and his MAGA friends are trying again to get rid of the Affordable Care Act.
I can't believe that.
And ripping away the protections you have under that, even if you have a pre-existing condition. I won't let that happen.
So that was Biden over the weekend in South Carolina, actually calling out Donald Trump and trolling him. And apparently it's getting under Donald Trump's skin. Donald Trump is now out on the, where is he? He's in Nevada, okay, screaming about how he's going to get 100% of the vote like autocrats do. And that's because there's an issue. There's an issue. Yeah, leave it to the GOP to have a voting issue. Okay. So they have caucuses and they have, primaries. And the caucuses are where the delegates will be selected. The primaries are where the ballot will be mailed to you. But Donald Trump will not be on the primary ballot that's mailed to you. Perhaps you already got your primary ballot mailed to you, and he ain't on it. So when you look at the caucus ballot where the delegates will be awarded, Donald Trump is on there with some no-name pastor, and, he's out there screaming, I'm going to get 100% of the vote in Nevada.
Nikki Haley won what's worse, person race, right? I mean, she got that. You think it's going to go in her favor at all?
I think it hurts her, actually. I think it's going to hurt her. Probably have a big loss today, but who knows? But, in the next state is Nevada, where I have 100%.
100%.
Because they all pulled out when they looked at the polling. So I have 100%. A lot of delegates, big states. And then I go to South Carolina, and I'm beating her by 60 points. So I just don't know. I mean, that's up to her.
Then I go to Nevada, big state, a lot of delegates. I'm going to win by 100%. That's because he's the only one on the caucus ballot. And well, there's another guy, like I said, he's a no-name, backwater pastor or something. But that's where the delegates get awarded. So that's why he's able to lie like that and say that. But I mean, it is so vile and disgusting, that he's out there saying crap like that. He's also out there saying that it is Biden who is the threat to democracy. And it is Biden who is, not with it mentally. And all Donald Trump keeps talking about is this cognitive test that he's still doing it. This was this.
I said, is it tough? He said, yeah, it's a tough test. The first couple of questions are easy, like they'll have a lion, a giraffe, a whale, and a shark.
Oh, my God.
And they'll say, which one's the lion, okay? And that's all the press covered, the first question. They didn't cover the last question. Multiply 4,733. Multiply times 7. Divide, without paper and pencil, by the way.
Uh-huh.
Divide it by 4. Add up another 37 and a half, 0.5. I remember that.
You're lying.
And what's your number? How many people in this room could do it? Not too many. Or they give you 6 names in a row. I took a lot of heat on this. They give you 6 names in a row at the beginning. Sir, I'm going to give you 6 names. Good. They look at them. A chair, a hat, a badge.
What is he talking about?
A necklace. And they vote. Those things. We're going to give you 6 things. And I say, good, what's going on? Can you rename them? So I name them. Then they go back, and if you can do it in order, that's even better.
Oh, my God.
I do them in order. Perfect.
Oh, my God.
Then they come back to you 30 minutes later at the end. Last question. They say, what were those 6 things? That there aren't too many people. And they laughed. Everyone said, oh, that's so easy. There's only about 2% of this room can do it, but I did it. I did it very easily. But I got mocked. They said, oh, that's so easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. Go home and try doing it, okay? Go home.
Holy crap. Talk about overexposure and undeserved accolades. That man, that was this weekend because it was at the Nevada GOP. That's what the step and repeat said behind him. That's what those boards are. It said NV, Nevada, Nevada.gop. He's literally campaigning currently based on this freaking cognitive test, which all that it does for me is remind me that he had to take one. Holy crap, man. All right. So do you really want that guy in charge while the Middle East, has, reared its ugly little head again? You know what's going on? I'll explain to you what is wrong in Iran today. Okay, why Iran is so irritated? It's because the Saudis. The Saudis are Sunni. You know that. Iran is Shia. That is one of the oldest North versus South, Civil War type, rifts in the history of mankind, okay? Stop trying to figure that one out, because 8 years of the Iraq-Iran war, 8 years of that, didn't solve the Shia-Sunni divide, and it never will. However, this is what fundamentalist religious people do when they want to control people. Believe me, Iran wants to control people. So, and Saudi too. So Saudi Arabia is Sunni and Iran is Shia. And Saudi is making overtures. Oh, there I go, referencing my great time at the Kansas concert again. But they're making overtures to normalize relations with Israel. And Iran and Israel are mortal enemies. And Saudi and Iran are mortal enemies. Starting to fill in the blanks here. So if Saudi would become friendly with Israel and normalize relations, then you have a Sunni Saudi leader of the Islamic world, where Mecca and Medina, the holy land for Islam, is, sidling up and becoming friends with the only Jewish state in the neighborhood. And Iran will not have it. That's what's going on, okay? And this is not our war. It never was our war. Yes, it was okay to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show in 1980, although I was active military then, and just a little bit scared that I was going to get deployed to places like Libya back then, right? But it's always the Libyans. Even in Back to the Future, it's the Libyans. 88 miles an hour in the Twin Pines Shopping Center. What was Doc running from? What was he running from? The Libyans in a white van shooting semi-automatic weapons at him. Remember that? It's always the Libyans. But anyway, that's what the deal is. That's why the Iranians are taking so many pot shots through these proxies. That's why the Iranians are, getting active in Yemen. That's what, because the Houthis, who are their enemy? Saudis. The Houthis are an Iranian-backed Islamic militia, and Iran backs them against the Saudis. Okay? So if you can understand that the Saudis are really fighting the Iranians, and the Iranians are really pissed off at the Saudis for, normalizing relations with Israel, then you understand what's going on. It's really very straightforward, and so it doesn't have anything to do with anything about the United States, like nothing. But everybody who wants to make it about something that the United States is or isn't doing is going to make it about something the United States isn't or is doing. And I've noticed that on the right and on the left. And it has nothing to do with you or me or this country.
Rhodes.com.
Go for launch.
Speaking truth to power, the Randi Rhodes Show.
Ukraine's an interesting case. People always want to know my feeling. Number one, we're in for 200 billion plus, and the European nations are in for 20 billion. And it's more important for them. And don't you think they should equalize? Nobody asks them. It's like I did with NATO. I said, we're paying for NATO, and we don't get so much out of it. And I hate to tell you this about NATO. If we ever needed their help, let's say we were attacked, I don't believe they'd be there. I don't believe. I know the people. I know them. I can tell you country by country who would be there and who, but I don't believe they'd be there.
They were there. The only time that Article 5, the NATO, you attack one, you attack all, Article 5 was invoked was after 9/11. Yeah, and they were all there. They were all there. Just saying. And here's a little handy chart just to put the lie to what he just said about the European Union not supporting, Ukraine. So here's a little chart right there. So you see this this giant amount here, 84.9 billion. So that is the EU. That is the EU's contribution. And then next to it is the United States. And if you can see, like the yellow bar here, that's money. That's financial money. That's giving money. And then the green bar is military equipment. So then if you move over to this column here, the United States is represented by $71.4 billion. However, very little of it is cash. And almost all of it is military equipment. And guess what? That benefits the United States. Why? Because we make it here. Just saying. This is Germany. This is Great Britain. This is, Norway, Japan, Canada, on and on it goes as the pie chart gets, it's not a pie chart, as the graph gets, less and less. But just so you know, he's lying. I mean, the guy, if his lips are moving, if that pie hole is saying something, it's a lie. And that's just the end of it. That's just the end of it. I cannot imagine having him in charge of the United States military going forward because, first of all, according to Donald Trump, not me, according to him, he would deploy the United States military on the United States. And, don't come at me and say, but constitutionally that's prohibited in the law, blah, blah, blah. You got 25 Republican governors right now who are supporting a Republican governor in Texas who is a psychopath, okay, who is in violation of the United States Supreme Court's ruling that says that he must take down razor wire that he put up in Eagles Pass, Texas, because he wants to seem like he's doing something on border security. I mean, it's very sad. And the Supreme Court said, you are not to do that. You cannot, you have to take down this razor wire. And how he's fighting that? No, not with constructive, border, talks with the federal government, not with, allowing Border Patrol to do its job. No. He's saying the Supreme Court said I have to take down this razor wire. They didn't say anything about putting up that razor wire. So while I won't take down this razor wire, I am going to add more razor wire because they didn't say I couldn't do that. I swear to God. And you got 25 Republican governors that are backing Abbott's unconstitutional behavior, meaning, and there's a thing now called Texit. Have you heard? Yeah, it sounds like Brexit, because it is. They want to secede. They want to secede from the union. They want to be and let Donald Trump go be the president of the Confederacy. Let him go be. Let him go be the president of Texas. Let him do it. Let him have it.
So you approve
of what? Secession? No.
Texas. Yeah, just Texas leaving. Yeah.
It's not possible. It's a long constitutional conversation, but it isn't possible for them to leave without a war. It just isn't. It's not possible. Even in their own, you can't do it. It can't happen. So no, I don't approve. But what's interesting is that when they asked Governor Stitt, oh God, rhymes with, Governor Stitt of Oklahoma, when they asked him, about this border plan of theirs. So Oklahoma has thrown in with a bunch of, 24 other GOP red state governors are throwing in with Abbott and saying, defy the Supreme Court's ruling. Don't comply. Defy the Constitution. Go ahead. Talk about succession. Talk about it. I mean, listen, here's what would happen. Every single person in Texas who's on Social Security, every single person in Texas who, gets food stamps or whatever they, the public school money, it all goes away. So every senior citizen in Texas who's over the age of 66 and 6 months who gets Social Security, they wouldn't get it anymore. There's a lot of crap that would happen. A lot of stuff. It's not possible to succeed. But you have 24 governors that are counting on the stupidity of their own people. And so they're saying, hey, let's block the federal Border Patrol guys, which is what's happening in Eagle Pass. Abbott is not letting the feds into Eagle Pass. Instead, he's deploying the Texas sheriffs, and because they kept the kids so safe in Uvalde. I mean, these are really profiles in courage, right? Anyway, he's letting them apply trespassing laws. Okay, and the Supreme Court told him you're not allowed to do that by virtue of the United States Constitution, which gives immigration to the federal government. Okay, not to the states. It's like the one thing that you don't get to do. And so the Governor Stitt from Oklahoma, who's backing Abbott, was on Fox News. And Fox News pointed out to him, if you deploy the Oklahoma National Guard because you think you're the commander-in-chief of the Oklahoma National Guard and Abbott thinks he's the commander-in-chief of the Texas National Guard, if you do that and you get rid of the feds and you put your state National Guardsmen at the border, don't you understand that once they're in position, Joe Biden, as president of the United States, could federalize them? And now all of a sudden they report to Joe Biden. Do you know that? Have you considered that?
Have you thought this through? If you send your Oklahoma National Guard down there and a bunch of other states send them down there, all Joe Biden has to do is federalize all of them. Next thing you know, they are doing essentially support work for the Border Patrol, who are down there right now just trying to process the invasion of migrants.
The invasion of migrants. You talk about mixing their message, right? He's literally, reading the governor of Oklahoma on live TV, telling him how stupid he is for not thinking that through, and then making his case for him at the end with the invasion word. I mean, and Joe Biden, here he is, trying to actually get a bipartisan immigration package together so that he can, Joe Biden can, swear to God, shut down the border until we catch up on the asylum processing. Wait, was that a solution? Uh-huh.
Call in, connect. To speak to Randi, call 561-270-3844. 561-270-3844.
I want to show you how opportunistic, okay? And this is probably why we have so many skeptics among us and so many cynical people in America these days, right? So here is Governor Stitt, the Oklahoma governor, on Fox News and actually being asked, did you think this through? So your deal is that you're going to join Governor Abbott in not observing the Constitution, not enforcing the laws of the state or of the country, right? The U.S. Constitution, even after the Supreme Court weighed in and said, no, border control is not a state issue. It is a federal thing, and you got to get your freaking National Guard out of the way so that the Federal Border Patrol can continue to do their work. And Stitt says he's going to send in his National Guard too to join the Texas National Guard along with 24 other Republican governors, right? And they're going, don't you understand that if you do that, all Joe Biden has to do as president of the United States, because he is the supreme one, is federalize your state National Guard, and then they answer to him? Did you even bother to think that through?
Your National Guard could be working for Joe Biden.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. I've been on the border. I've talked to the border agents. Even the border agents themselves are scratching their head. But these are good Americans, and they're trying to obey their boss. But they don't agree with that policy either. And, of course, the National Guard soldiers, they're Texans, and they're Oklahomans, and they're Tennessee folks. And these are just Americans, and they don't like what's going on. So you would really be putting our soldiers in a tough situation to protect their states against fentanyl deaths and against illegal immigrants and terrorists in a lot of cases.
Oh, good Lord.
Just to appease some administration that has a political agenda. That's the only possible explanation, is they're wanting to nationalize and get a bunch of voters in that they think is going to swing elections. That's the only logical explanation. And it's absolutely illogical to think that we have leaders that are more focused on the next election instead of doing what's right for America.
Does he really think he said something there? I can't really I mean, he does look sort of kind of like he knows he's full of crap. But then on the other hand, he seemed very happy to end the sentence and look in the camera as if, yeah, see, I just said something, pertinent or meaningful or answered your question. No, he didn't consider that if he sends the National Guard of Oklahoma down to Texas, that all that would happen is that Joe Biden would have to nationalize every state that is in violation of the United States Constitution soldiers. to keep them from interfering in the Border Patrol's ability to do their job. And how do I know? Well, you know what the GOP in Oklahoma, that's his state right there, Mr. Genius. You know what the Oklahoma GOP did today? Now, you know who the chief negotiator for the GOP, for the Republican senators is, right? Okay, I'll tell you that it's Senator James Lankford of the great state of Oklahoma. Yeah, he is the chief negotiator for this border security bipartisan package that is done. It's about to hit the Senate floor. It probably will make the Senate floor either later this week or next week. It will. And the Oklahoma GOP censured, swear to God, James Lankford, who is about as conservative as you could ever get. They sanctioned him because they're calling the bipartisan border bill that gives the tools necessary and the money necessary to secure our border to the president of the United States, whoever that person might be. Well, right now it's obviously Joe Biden. But if they pass this package, it will inure to the next president too, right? But they're saying it's an open borders package. It's open borders, and James Lankford is a traitor. And they censured him. I swear to freaking God. This is how much they want this issue. This is how much they want it. Where they would sanction the most conservative senator that probably exists in the Senate today. Besides for, Tom Cotton and Josh Hawley from Arkansas and Missouri, respectively. James Lankford. I mean, honestly, they literally condemned him and censured him for his, quote, open border deal. An open border deal. This is exactly the opposite of what this deal allows. This deal, this bipartisan package, not only gives money to send judges and to increase the number of Border Patrol at the border down there to border states, but it also allows the president of the United States, whoever that might be, to shut down the border if the border becomes overwhelmed. And so over the weekend, Joe Biden said he thinks the border is overwhelmed. And if they gave him these tools, he would shut the border down. And they know that that's true. And they can't have a win for Joe Biden on this issue. They need this issue. They need a lot. It is the entirety of the Trump campaign. It is the entire Trump campaign.
Right now, the president does not have the tools that he needs in order to stop the flow of 10,000 people a day, to better manage the asylum system. So let's come together and give him those tools. But let's also be cognizant of the fact that if we don't pass this bill, Ukraine won't get its military funding.
Yeah,
remember, the whole reason that we are talking about border is because Republicans have said they will let Vladimir Putin march his army in and through Ukraine if we don't pass a bill that includes border provisions and Ukraine funding. So the consequence of failure here is not just that we keep immigration as an open issue available for Donald Trump to exploit in the next election. It is also that Ukraine loses this war and that Russia marches its army to the edge of Europe. That would be catastrophic for the United States and for the whole world. So the stakes here are high. The consequences of failure are enormous. And I do have confidence that enough Republicans in the Senate are going to join us to pass this bipartisan legislation, potentially as early as the next week or two. And we can show that Washington can still stand up and work on these big problems, even if Donald Trump is rooting for chaos.
Always rooting for chaos, because in chaos he can steal. And now we know that, he has been stealing his entire life. That's why there's so many cases with, financial rainbows at the end for whoever sued him, right? Because he's been stealing people's reputation. He's been stealing money. He's been getting loans that he never pays back. Honestly. So anyway, that said about him, Putin would love to win the Ukraine war. And that's why we're talking about border security, right? Because Marjorie Taylor Greene, the brainiac that she is, decided that she was going to tie Ukraine's border problem, as if Russia's invasion with tanks and drones and bombs was a border issue. She was going to tie that to the southern border in the United States. So they said, the Democrats said, oh, bring it on. We'll take on both. We'll tie it nice and neat together. We'll give the president of the United States the tools he needs to make the southern border make sense and to make it work. And we won't let Putin take Ukraine. It's a win-win for us. Go ahead.
This is the Randi Rhodes Show. To speak with Randi, dial 561-270-3844. That's 561-270-3844.
Do you have a deal?
Well, we do have a bipartisan deal. We're finishing the text right now. And the question is whether Republicans are going to listen to Donald Trump, who wants to preserve chaos at the border because he thinks that it's a winning political issue for him, or whether we are going to pass legislation which would be the biggest bipartisan reform of our border and immigration laws in 40 years and would give the President of the United States, whether that president is a Republican or a Democrat, new important power to be able to better manage the flow of people across the border. We are sort of finalizing the last pieces of text right now. This bill could be ready to be on the floor of the United States Senate next week, but it won't be if Republicans decide that they want to keep this issue unsettled for political purposes. So I was glad to hear the president come out and speak forcefully in favor of this bill. I am hopeful that we will still have enough Republicans in the Senate who want to fix the problem at the border rather than just do Donald Trump's bidding. But we will see over the next 24 to 48 hours whether that's true.
Right. And so we are going to see today, tomorrow, whether or not that's true. Will Republicans tank immigration reform, comprehensive immigration reform that actually would help? I can't say would 100% solve the problem of illegal immigration into this country, because nothing ever will. Where there's a will, there's a way. You know that. But it would go a very long way in helping the President of the United States manage the flow into this country of immigration and immigrants who can get in every single day. They just want the issue. I mean, it's so bizarre. And let me tell you, they're going to say just about anything they can. Oh, look what's on my screen, Brett. Oh, you think that's fake? Is that fake?
Yeah.
You do. Is that fake?
Yeah.
Is that fake?
Yeah.
I'm out of pictures. That's not fake. Okay, they're in love. But anyway, I was looking at it. It's on my browser. So when I close my videos, you see what's on my browser. Just in case you ever see anything like, really dirty or disgusting or something like that. And by that I mean needs cleaning, not porn.
By the way, you're going to get my tires slashed by the Swiftie Army. Like, my tires are done for.
Oh, my God. Nobody will touch you. But I just want to show you, what Marsha Blackburn is insisting is going on about immigration. I mean, this is bizarre world. I'm going to play this. It's very short, but I just want you to remember that anybody in this country who is not a citizen now, cannot vote. You understand that, right? Okay, good.
With this wide open border, one of the things that is concerned to us is the way these blue cities that are losing population are welcoming illegal immigrants into their community. Now, why are they doing this? It is because when you get to the census, what they need is people who are going to replace the people that have chosen to vote with their feet and leave these cities. So, to the big blue cities, the big blue states, sanctuary cities, this means keeping congressional seats and keeping federal dollars. So I'm so appreciative that Senator Hagerty is pushing forward, bringing this legislation, and calling attention to the fact that as we do the census, that these individuals do not need to be counted as citizens of the United States.
Oh, I don't think that's the right clip. This one says that she was going to say that illegals vote. But anyway, none of that is true. People are not leaving blue cities because they're unhappy in blue cities. And people are not welcoming immigrants into blue cities because there's some population decline going on. People are welcoming busloads of immigrants that are being sent to them by Greg Abbott. They're so disingenuous, honestly.
You went to the border, you call it a war zone, and now you have in the Senate a bipartisan deal with new border and asylum restrictions. President Biden says the law would give him emergency authority to shut down the border, and he said he would use it on day one, quote, for everyone who is demanding tougher border control. This is the way to do it. If you're serious about the border, pass a bipartisan bill, and I would sign it. Should your former Republican colleagues in Congress support that deal?
Why doesn't President Biden take action today?
Okay. You're very pretty. And you might be in the running to be Donald Trump's vice president because, the way he envisions it is you have to look like you came out of Central Casting, and you do, Kristi Noem, in South Dakota. But Joe Biden cannot shut down the border today. Joe Biden cannot send Border Patrol agents, hire more Border Patrol agents and pay them and send them down to the border today. Joe Biden cannot, hire more asylum judges without the money to pay them today. These people are so disingenuous. It's like, why didn't he do it today? Why didn't he do it? The only reason why they get to say this garbage is because we had a global pandemic. And in 2020, we were able to use something called Title 42 in the immigration law that's already on the books that addresses what to do with the border if there's a pandemic, a national health emergency. That is not something you could use now. We know that because the court said so. So they just sit here and they lie and they say, well, Joe Biden can do everything he needs to do now. He doesn't need new legislation, while they scream about the border being out of control. So here we are with a bipartisan package that would let him hire more, asylum judges, that would let him hire more Border Patrol agents, that would let him shut down the border if the border became overwhelmed, which it has in the past, recent past, right? But then they lose the issue. Then they have nothing for Donald Trump to bellyache about. And he's going to lose anyway. So can you imagine him not having the racist hatred that he, deploys upon his people at these, poorly attended rallies now? Nobody would show up. What do you mean he's not going to hate on anybody? What do you mean? What do you mean the border's secure? What do you mean? Jim on Long Island.
Hi, Randy. Can you hear me okay?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. First-time caller.
Hi.
I love your show. Love all the commentary. Trump met me about 20 years ago, and it was a term that I know you would be familiar with, being a New Yorker. That kind of applies to him in a weird way, but it's direct. A scofflaw.
No, he's more than a scofflaw.
No, I know that, but most people don't know that term.
He's a felon. Okay, this isn't like.
Yeah. I got that. Yeah. It's not a traffic ticket. I understand that.
Right.
But do you think he has us right where he wants us now?
No, I think he's nowhere near where he wants to be right now, and
where he wants us to be. I mean, yeah.
No, I think 30% of this country will support a person like Donald Trump every single time, and I think
I said that tongue in cheek. Yes, of course.
Seriously, and you cannot win. He cannot win a general. I mean, he might become the nominee, right? So, but he can't win a general election without independents or 100% of the GOP vote. He just can't because there are more Democrats than there are Republicans.
Absolutely, but in the mind of his supporters, he can do no wrong. So I don't waste my breath on them.
Right. Well, let them think what they want. Meanwhile, we're trying to solve some serious problems here. We need serious people, and he is not one of them. So.
Yeah, the Republicans in Congress they're doing nothing, and we're paying the bill for it. It's a shame. Well, I'll let you move on. Thank you for taking my call.
Okay. Dean in L.A.
Randy.
Yeah, we're
Good
done.
afternoon.
Hi.
Well, it's nice in the 70s, which I hear, so I know the rest of the country hates me. But you know what? This is kind of reminds me like 40-something years ago of the Iranian hostage crisis.
Yeah.
It's the Republicans' version of we need a punching bag, and we're just going to do whatever we can to keep punching this thing. And we've seen it before, and they're just going to use the media and use their office and their seats to sit there and say whatever they can to try and get Trump back. And sadly, I hear my own friends and acquaintances responding, well, what's Biden doing? Oh, my God, please.
Okay, that made no sense at all. On any level, for anybody that was listening. I apologize to the listener.